Hi, and welcome to Australian Games Friday Night Podcast. I'm Yug.
You're apparently William Shatner.
And thank you very much.
And I'm Matt.
Tonight, we'll be talking about Xbox.
It's done.
Okay, alright, I'm over it. Xbox Live, old school games.
Half-Life 2 gets an update. Half-Life 2 Episode 1 gets an update.
Half-Life 2. We'll talk a bit about the Canberra Games Festival.
And copying DVDs to the PSP memory stick.
And an Australian video game TV show.
Yes, Australia hasn't actually had a dedicated video game.
It has before, actually.
It hasn't had one for a while, was what I was going to say, if you'd let me finish my goddamn sentence.
Right, yes, your goddamn sentence.
Yes, it was a goddamn sentence. It used to have one that was like a midday show during the week.
Because that's good, because obviously
that's when the gaming market is on.
All the kids and the serious gamers, they all are at home at midday.
Yeah, ready to watch TV. Yeah, no, I know. And for some reason it didn't do all that well.
You know, if there was a TV... I mean, obviously there is a TV show coming out, but what would be the perfect time? I would have thought prime time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Actually, early prime time. Well, I mean, prime time is always going to be the best time for any show. It's not like any show...
But your target market is 18 to... Or is it? I don't know.
I would say they're probably dumb enough to think that the target market is from 16 to about 25, whereas really it probably should be a little older than that and probably should be, say, 18 to 35.
Yeah, that's true. It depends what kind of show it is. I mean, okay, the one that they're actually making on Channel 10 is called...
Cyber Shack TV.
Cyber Shack TV, which is a very cool...
I'm glad they called it Cyber Shack TV.
Cyber Shack.
I'm glad they called it TV in case we didn't realise the medium.
Oh, TV.
Oh,
right,
it's on the television.
Because, I was going to watch it on my toaster, to be honest.
I was going to get out my iPod and give it a watch.
And
I don't have an iPod.
Making a big deal of that the host of the show will be a model called Fuzzy.
Yeah, Fuzzy the model.
Who, there's photos of her on the article that we read is actually on PALGN. And it's got photos of the girl who's this black chick with big fuzzy hair, which I'm assuming
that's where she gets the name from,
where
presumably.
The name Fuzzy comes from. Now,
there's a couple of other possibilities, but we won't go into them
fuzzy
right
everywhere,
so to speak.
That was my email coming through, by the way, because the sounds on the computer actually come through in here now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we play this back, we'll hear the email thing had just popped up.
Awesome. Anyway,
sorry, that really is very unprofessional.
Yeah, so having a model doing the Cyber Shack TV could be a good thing or a bad thing. If she's good, she's good. Like, I don't care whether she's a model.
Okay, I'm generally of the opinion that it's not going to be good.
I detect gimmick.
Yeah, and
if a gimmick has to be done, then we have a problem.
What I think they need, and I know this sounds really pretentious.
Yeah, of course.
They need us.
They need us doing the TV show.
You know why I say they
Channel
need
10 did ask, but we had commitments.
Yeah, I had stuff to do on Friday night, and Matt gets his internet connection back and plays World of Warcraft.
So I mean, sometime soon, but for now.
No, but the reason I say that is because I think what the format actually needs is something very similar to the Man Show.
Actually, that's true. The Man Show. The Man Show would work.
Which would be perfect, because that is exactly... I enjoy watching The Man Show, just because it's two guys sitting on chairs talking about stuff that interests me.
Same with Top Gear. Top Gear has turned out to be a very, very popular male show now. It's one of the most popular shows among males.
And it's good because the hosts of the show, they're not pretentious. They're not, I'm so funky and cool and all this kind of thing. They're just like... They're actually... degrading usually of themselves, self-degrading, just people who are sitting around doing exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, except with some sort of knowledge and background.
That's true.
And expertise.
And professionalism. I don't know. They did have girls bouncing on trampolines, but...
Yeah. Well, that's
a video game show should have that as well.
Should indeed.
For no real reason, just because it should.
Just because
Every show should have that, actually.
I
might... switch that off.
Yes, that would be lovely. My concern with the Cyber Shack is that if it ends up just having this fuzzy girl, who's very cute, don't get me wrong, she looks like a lovely girl, she's very pretty, and she's got a nice smile, and that's all we know about her. Except that she's a little bit nipply in the second photo, so I do recommend giving it a good look.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is that if she doesn't know what she's talking about and is just there as a pretty face, it's going to look stupid and it's going to be an embarrassment to gamers.
Now, I guess maybe they are focusing on the younger target audience, because as a young kid you might look at it and go, that's cool, that's obviously cool. And
but as an older watcher, you want someone with a bit more expertise.
The other thing is,
cute or not.
is it really being targeted towards gamers or just casual people who are interested in games sort of thing, and technology sort of thing?
Well, it's actually not just video games, it's actually video games and gadgets, so it will probably cross between those two. One of the things that concerns me about it is apparently the press release says mixes geeks, gadgets and gorgeous girls in a new blah blah blah.
Must see Australian produced show for games.
The more relevant
gamers and technology nerds.
Yeah, whatever. The more relevant bit that I actually meant to read was they'll road test the latest games from Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo and compare the gaming experience to real life. What?
The gaming experience to real life.
How? Well, what does that involve?
Because they're gonna play
Grand Theft Auto and then go out
and steal cars and bash people up.
See how it works, how it compares.
Yeah. How does that compare? Well, it's the very same experience, except I'm in jail.
Yeah,
now.
What about World of Warcraft? How exactly do you compare that to real life?
Oh, that's easy.
Just go somewhere that has
what
a lot
do you
of
mean?
orcs.
What do you mean? World of Warcraft is real life.
World of Warcraft is
people.
a feeling. Yeah,
it's
so
the vibe. I don't know. I have no faith in it whatsoever.
I have none at all, but I'll watch it.
I think there is a place for Orgon.
There is one thing that gives it a great deal of potential. It's coming on after Rove, so it just has to be less lame than Rove.
Yeah.
And
it's not after Rove. It's after Rove and then after something else, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's
11 p.m. after Rove, the news, Sports Tonight,
and probably a few
so it's at midnight.
11 p.m. or something.
11 p.m.
Which is actually not a bad time slot.
Yeah, it's not a bad time slot for it to start.
Yeah.
Basically, so if people do end up watching it and it does develop any sort of following and is actually not completely lame, it might sort of trickle back into more reasonable times.
Maybe this will be the start of a crazy new generation of reality TV shows. You've got stars dancing and stuff like that. Maybe you'll have celebrity video game matchups.
Well, that's actually what they're doing in this show.
Yeah, that's right. They're doing the Anthony Mundine.
They've got Anthony Mundine playing table tennis, which I find a little strange. I would have thought a boxing game would be more appropriate.
Like, Fight Night or something like that.
Yeah,
that would actually be interesting. I really don't care about Anthony Mundine playing tennis.
Yeah, no, I don't see how that makes any sense at all.
But, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
all right, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to fail miserably.
Yeah.
And be another reason why and TV network executives go, this is stupid.
Clearly, the Australian gamer market is not mature enough to take any sort of decent show, so we won't be bothered.
We'll need to pitch. I think we need to pitch a gaming show to the networks.
Yes.
Yes.
What we need to do is we need to take over this one when it starts to tank. We need to rescue it with our incredible popularity and charisma.
Absolutely. Before we completely lose everyone with our overinflated egos,
there's not enough room. We're getting static from there.
Let's talk about the next thing, which I think is Xbox Live old school games.
Yes.
Which is something that I just wanted to mention because there's a big update at the moment with some classic games coming to Xbox Live.
El Frogorio.
Yeah, Frogger, sorry. Froggo.
I confused you.
It's updated for the new millennium. Froggo. Yo. He's all bling and stuff.
Since when do bling bling people have
Yo.
Froggo.
Names? Yo.
Froggo.
Because
yo.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be like Frogstar or something?
Frogstar.
Yeah, with
what?
An
with
STA
what?
on the end.
Oh, a star.
Yeah, like Gangstar, kind of.
I don't know, Froggo, yo. I don't know, just sort of...
None of it works.
No?
Move on.
Alright.
Yeah.
Frogger and Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter
Fighting, which I will get. That's awesome.
Street Fighter 2 comes out pretty soon. That one's not out yet, but it does come out soon. My question is, once Street Fighter 2 is out, will they release like Street Fighter 2
Hyper Super Turbo Fighting
Mega Hyper
Edition?
Super Turbo Alpha Mega Gamma?
I don't care,
Beta,
but as
Champion.
long as they release it and you can actually play against other people.
That would be interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to work even over live. I mean,
they already do it with fighting. With
really?
Another, I can't remember. It's Capcom versus
SNK
3 or something like that, and they already do that. It's very successful.
Okay.
But it's too expensive for me right now, and I'll happily just buy the old school Street Fighter 2,
right.
which I know the moves.
yeah, fair cool.
So yeah, and there's Gallagher and Pac-Man also coming out, which is cool.
Yeah, Pac-Man, it's interesting to see Pac-Man could actually do better now than it did when it was first released. Because it was a massive, massive flop.
Yeah. Really? What?
When Pac-Man was first released to home consoles, it was a horrendous flop.
Really?
It was. I was reading a list recently that showed the 10 worst home conversions, and it was number 1.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did stupid things. They changed the mazes so they were all totally different shapes. You went down instead of to the side. They got rid of the cherries and they replaced them with dots.
I did not know that. Far out. Well, anyway, Gallagher comes out on July 26th.
And sorry, I believe it was also Pac-Man that was the one that they released more copies. They actually made more copies than there were actual hardware.
Wasn't that E.T.?
I wasn't sure if it was Pac-Man or E.T. It was one of the two.
E.T. was one of the ones that caused the great
those two
console destruction.
Those two, one after the other, was like a 1-2 blow.
I think it actually may have been Ms. Pac-Man that actually did the blow. Actually,
no, I think it was
that came out wrong.
Yes, yes, it did. Yes, Mrs. Pac-Man's blow did the job, indeed.
Or Mrs. Pac-Man's job did the blow. Actually,
yes.
I don't know. Anyway, and Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. I don't remember Hyper Fighting. I remember Street Fighter 2 Hyper. You know what? I don't even know. Why do they add the fighting on the end of that? Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting.
So you don't confuse it with Street Fighter 2 Hyper Making Friends.
Right, okay. Because I thought street fighting was all about, shaking hands and buying flowers together and going and seeing a movie.
The friendships
right,
from
okay.
Mortal Kombat.
My mistake.
Yeah, an understandable mistake to make.
Yeah, damn, silly me. Well, that comes out on August the 2nd on Xbox Live. That's cool.
I have a dumb question.
What's your dumb... Right.
No, I don't think it's that dumb a question if you're not really into the whole Xbox Live skizine.
Yeah.
Don't
ever say that again.
I wondered how long that would get through.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're not into the Xbox Live scene, my question is, when you download one of these classic games, is it for the Xbox or for the Xbox 360 and other the
360.
Same?
It's 360. It's the marketplace on 360.
What about the Xbox Live?
As far as I know,
Xbox, do they get any other stuff?
Tough. Mainly because the original Xbox. Now, this is a very good question. Xbox Live on the normal Xbox never really had much of a meeting place. It was just a case of the game that you put in.
Right, so there was no real central...
There was no... As far as I can remember, and as far as I know now, there's no marketplace. Marketplace is an Xbox Live feature for the 360. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll look into that.
So someone who actually has an Xbox but not an Xbox 360, just let us know whether the actual Xbox Live has been updated.
It's worth
with
looking
the
into that, because to be completely honest, anyone who's got a 360 doesn't really care about the normal Xbox Live experience anymore.
And it's not like we hear much about it either, because everyone's moved on.
Yeah, I don't have my original Xbox plugged in.
Yeah.
I don't use Live on that anymore. And hey, here's another thought. I've upgraded my Live account on my 360. Because when you get 360, you just upgrade it. So does that mean my Live account on my normal Xbox just doesn't work anymore?
I'd say I would suspect it wouldn't work.
And I suppose fair enough, but
yeah.
Anyway, these are rhetorical questions because we don't know the answers.
No, a rhetorical question is a question that can't be answered.
I realised that as soon as I said it. I knew you were going to pick me up on it, and there was nothing I could do about it whatsoever except sit here and just.
Yes. Anyway. The Canberra Games Festival is coming to town like the circus.
Yeah, it's the guy I spoke to who's organising it. He's really nice, really friendly. I just don't take this the wrong way. Anyone who lives in Canberra, but why Canberra?
Yeah, why the Canberra game? I did wonder that. I'm like, what, did they run out of porn? What's the deal?
There's not that many gaming festivals in Australia.
No,
there's not that many even close to E3 equivalent.
No, you would imagine if there was going to be one, it would be in Sydney for the population.
I mean, to be honest, we've been to a few gaming things. We went to the events. EA Play thing, events and things like that, but they're targeted towards industry. Hey, people in press and industry and people that are selling the games are interested in buying, check out what's coming up. They're not open to the public. They're not gaming events or stuff like that. And the only one that I really know of or have heard of recently is the Canberra Games Festival, which is an ongoing thing. Actually, it goes from the 18th to the 31st of July.
Yeah,
and they've got things like massive LAN tournaments where it's like there's about $1,000 of money up for that you can win, and there's a big game trivia night which they're actually really promoting, and it just looks like a bit of fun, and it just sucks that it's in Canberra because I'm in Brisbane, damn it.
Yeah, and no one's in Canberra. No one should have to go to Canberra for any reason.
I'm sure all the politicians will go.
Do you know how few politicians actually live in Canberra?
No, I don't. Where do they live?
Very few politicians actually live in Canberra. In fact, I believe it was John Howard who, when basically given the keys to Kirribilli to the Australian, official Prime Minister's house, just basically said, "Bugger that! I'm not living in Canberra." And they mostly live in Sydney because that's a real city.
And do they just fly to the cabinet things every?
Yeah, pretty much. They just commute because it's better than having to live in goddamn Canberra.
Oh, the poor things.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. We pay for it.
Oh yeah. Oh, good. But no, I've been to Canberra a couple of times before actually, and you know what? My favourite thing there was they had this little miniature village. It was like a little miniature village thing. It was awesome.
When we went, we were told, because we went in the middle of winter, and we were told that my mum was like warning us, rug up, because when we get off the train, we're all going to freeze to death, and we may have to be rescued by,
right, huskies,
St. Bernards with little kegs around their neck. And when we got there, it was actually 5 degrees warmer there than it was in Brisbane at the time. It was the biggest heat wave they'd ever had. It's good value.
Good timing.
And it was covered in flies. There were flies everywhere for some reason.
That's a really good first impression of
Canberra. That's Canberra to me. It's hot and there's flies.
And porn.
Hot flies and porn.
Hot flies and porn. That's not the
that
worst
sounds like a porn movie, actually.
Hot flies and porn.
Flies and porn. Anyway.
No, actually, it really doesn't.
No, but if you take flies, it's like a zipper.
Oh, right.
See?
Hot flies.
They're hot from the friction of them being
going
zipped
up and down
so
many times, because it's porn. And that's right. That's a slight stretch, but okay.
That's what.
But anyway, look, if you're in Canberra, go, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you've probably watched all the porn you've got. How many fireworks can you set off? I mean, really, just go to the games thing.
And especially the trivia night, which looks to be a bit of fun. I'll put up a post.
We've also been told that if you mention Australian Gamer when you go to buy your ticket, you'll get 20% off.
Yes. No, we made that up.
No, we made it up.
We can't back that one up.
Give it a try and see if it works.
Yeah, actually, just click your fingers, wink your eye, and go, Australian Gamer sent us.
Yeah.
And they won't let you in.
No, they'll actually kick you out. Probably for the wink.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it makes you look sus.
And pinch the arse was the first news,
Yeah.
Giving you the ticket, just go.
They're brilliant in a little booth, which makes the arse pinching process difficult. So
even more impressive if you can.
Go for the boobies. If it's a girl. I mean, if it's a guy, that would just be weird.
Oh, either way.
Weird is good.
Okay, moving on. Half-Life 2 Episode 1, which is still actually just a bit of an annoying title, because Half-Life 2 should have been Episode 1, and this should be Episode 2.
And it should be Half-Life 2.5.
I don't know.
2.5, that's fine.
Anyway, look, the reason I want to talk about this, just briefly, is they've released an update via Steam, because of course everyone who has Half-Life 2 Episode 1 has Steam.
Yeah.
That's where they go. Even if you didn't get it via Steam, you still need Steam to play and authenticate the game, right? So they've automatically released an update for it, which is automatically installed when you actually go to play the game. You have to install the update to play the game.
Yeah.
And the update actually changes the level. They're getting complaints back saying that some people are getting stuck in the level where you go back to the Citadel and you have to fight your way through at the beginning of Half-Life 2 Episode 1.
Yeah.
And so this update changes the difficulty level and takes away some of the enemies and changes some things about it, which I'm fine with. But in the same respect, I don't know. That
World of Warcraft has been doing exactly that for how long?
World of Warcraft is a persistent online game world. This is a single player.
What's the difference?
The difference is
by changing your gaming experience, they have every right to
I had my gaming experience to this game.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit frustrating that they've now changed it so that it's different.
Why?
because what if my gaming experience was actually marred by the fact that I was frustrated when I played through it, and now there's this update which actually makes it easier to play through.
So you're saying they shouldn't make the game better?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's frustrating to me because they should have done that to begin with. I've already played through it, and
so you're saying they shouldn't have made any mistakes in the first place?
Yes.
Interesting way of looking at it. You're a retard.
No, I just think it's look for World of Warcraft. That's understandable because it's a persistent online world, and massive multiplayer online roleplay games are renowned for the fact that they're always tweaking, changing, and upgrading to suit the communities and the growing environment, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
This is a single-player linear game.
Okay, and I'm
where
going to say
nothing changes, and what?
So, what's the difference? Why does that make... I know what the difference is, but why is that different? Why does that make a difference?
I'm used to patches changing or tweaking things slightly.
But not game content.
Not game content.
Get used to it.
And more importantly, those patches are optional.
Yeah.
This is automatic. You cannot change this. If I liked how that initial bit of the game played, I cannot do that anymore.
But you could say the same of World of Warcraft. If I liked the way that quest used to be,
yeah,
too bad, I've lost that. I can't do it that way.
I say that's different though.
No,
I say that's different because there's a different kind of game. You expect that from that kind of game.
I think that's an arbitrary thing to decide, though. I mean, just because we're not used to it, because it hasn't been happening in the past, doesn't mean...
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying I'm against it. I just was a little bit... When I first read it, I was like, oh, okay, well, that kind of frustrated me a bit because it's automatic. I don't have a choice, and I've already played through the game, and so there's now the change in the gameplay in the opening levels
might well make it worth you playing again.
Yeah, well, no, it may have actually changed my opinion of it initially. I've written a review of it. Now, is that review still valid after these changes? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But to me, what you're saying is that once a game has been created, it must be set completely in stone.
No, I'm not.
And should not be improved in any way.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm really
not.
That
is what you're saying.
I'm not actually against this. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything like that. I just wanted to bring it up. It just, for some reason, something inside of me was like a little bit annoyed.
Something inside you.
Something inside
me. You hurt
me.
my heart.
It broke my heart. Something deep inside. Deep inside. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
No, look, I just wanted to bring it up. I just thought that was the first time I've ever had a mandatory update from a single-player linear game forced on me.
I understand what you mean about it being mandatory, but it's very common for game balancing issues to be introduced in a game, in a patch. You seem to think this is more extensive than it in other games might be, but the fact that it's mandatory, I sort of see what you're getting at, but at the same time, some patches are just mandatory because the game runs like crap without them.
Good, fantastic. I don't know, it was just something about it was just it didn't quite... It's good, I'm all for it. I'm not actually saying against it or anything. I just wanted to bring it up because
I think
it's not something I've experienced before, and it's not something I think there's been done before in a single-player game.
One of the things with it is that because it's connected to Steam, you're on a digital distribution network, and they're going to distribute, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to accept that they have access to your game to basically do whatever you want. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any real choice.
No, and it's not exactly a bad thing. It was just... Yeah, I just wanted to, mention it.
To complain.
Might also add about Steam that there's a new game called The Ship. The Ship, which is out on at the moment, which I think Hayden actually brought up in the forums that I really need to download and look at because he said it's good.
It's good, huh?
It is good.
Is it good?
It's good. And also, just talking about the forums, might I actually add, we just watched Nobody's Watching.
Yeah.
Which is the one that Sniper Extreme actually suggested.
It was funny. Really good.
You should all watch it.
Very, very, very funny.
Alright, anyway, moving on. The next thing...
Just by the way, just to actually sell it a bit better, if you liked Scrubs, it's by the same guy. It's a pilot before he made Scrubs, and it's just as original and just as funny.
Yeah. Funny.
Okay.
PSP memory stick DVD copying. This has you moist.
when I first heard this, I was moist, and then I became rapidly unmoist when I read the details. The details.
Is that even possible?
Yes,
okay.
It went back in. The details are disturbing. The details are basically that you buy a particular 1 gig or 2 gig memory stick, and with it you get a particular DVD. By that, it's like...
As in you get a UMD with it? Sorry?
What? No, a DVD. It comes with a DVD, like a DVD-ROM.
Oh, okay.
A software. Not a movie. A
DVD
ROM.
copying...
A utility.
Okay, utility
program.
Right. Okay. Yes,
on a DVD.
On a DVD.
It is actually a DVD-ROM.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, and that will let you transfer one of 4 movies onto your PSP. One of 4 preset movies. Now, there's a couple of problems with that. One, if they can do that, why not allow you to transfer any movie that you happen to possess the DVD of?
Because that's just asking for piracy, isn't it?
No, not really. What are you going to do with it after that?
Watch it, copy it. If you can copy it to your Sony memory stick, what's to stop you copying that to your computer and then sharing it via digital distribution?
Well, for a start, because the thing's 320 by 270 pixels wide, it's a quarter of the size of the actual original DVD. So yes, if you want to send really low res versions around.
Yeah, but what? You don't think it'll get up on BitTorrent? Hey, here's this DVD, download it for your PSP now.
Well, what's to stop that happening anyway? Nothing at all.
Well,
that happens anyway.
Because I don't see Sony promoting any other software to download movies to your computer. There's a difference between software that does this questionably and Sony actually promoting a piece of software that does it legally for their PSP.
Yes, there is. The problem is that Sony is doing it in such a half-assed, lame, pathetic way. There's no point in them even doing it at all. Okay. You have the choice between the following 4 movies.
Yep.
Hitch, Triple X, State of the Union, SWAT, and The Grudge. The Grudge is the only one of those that's even mildly watchable. The rest are an insult.
Oh, come on, Hitch. Come on.
You know what? I haven't actually seen Hitch.
It's not that bad. It's got the guy from King of Queens.
Whatever. It's funny. But SWAT and Triple X, State of the Union. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
They are pretty bad. But my point is, Sony have sold the PSP as a multimedia system while at the same time handicapping it from doing any multimedia. As far as they possibly can, they've made it.
Kind of half expected from Sony, though, sort of thing.
I have been no. It's not even just that they've done things that DRM and that kind of thing. I would understand that. It's that they've been just utterly, incomprehensibly incompetent in how they've done it. The difficulty in actually putting it for something that says, movies, watch movies, blah blah blah. Yep. Like there's a menu option for watching a movie off your memory stick. It's like there, it's ready to go, it's great. But it's an absolute nightmare to get the damn thing on there in the first place.
Yep.
Why? Why do they not have a utility to do that?
Do you reckon it could do... I mean, you look at, say, the iPod, for example, right? Yeah. It's very streamlined. Everything's easy to get everything onto it, whether it's video or it's music or whatever. But the difference is that Apple don't have a section of Apple dedicated to movies sort of thing, whereas Sony has a global conglomerate empire sort of thing that handles movies and stuff like that. So maybe to them... I mean, it's not quite as easy for them just to make this software, to make it easy for people to actually put their DVDs on the memory sticks, because that compromises their...
I could not imagine that's the case. A good example is the fact that, say, listening to MP3s.
Yep.
The MP3s have to be in such a specific directory to listen to them on a PSP that you can't listen to them on any other Sony device whatsoever. You can't listen to the MP3s that you have on your PSP in a W800 Sony Walkman.
Okay, now
for example.
See that? Completely fair enough. That is retarded.
Yeah.
That is absolutely retarded.
Totally stupid.
That, I mean, especially with Sony trying to pimp out their own proprietary formats.
Because it has to be in the /PSP/music directory.
No, that is retarded.
Why not just put it in the /music directory and let everything read it from there? No, doesn't work. Can't be done.
Alright, that's stupid.
Another example is that to actually upgrade the latest ROM, the latest version of the software. I couldn't remember how to do it because I'd done it once before, but I couldn't remember how to do it. And then when I read how to do it again, I was just appalled. You have to download a specific file, which is called an eboot.rom, I think, file.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that's capitalized. You have to make a directory on the memory stick yourself that has to be a particular name and in a particular location. And then you copy that file onto there.
You know what sucks? What really sucks is that the PSP now, especially with Loco Roco actually coming out, which is a already out, it's starting to appeal to everyone. That's the kind of game that appeals to, as you said in your latest update sort of thing, that's the kind of game that appeals to gamers everywhere. But all this extra functionality that you're talking about seems like the kind of thing which only people that have
You have to hack it. You basically have to hack it to do their own official update. Why is there not a simple utility to double-click and go, update now? Why is that not possible?
Why do you even need to update the software?
Because they've added new functionality in the actual... basically, you're upgrading the operating system.
You don't need to update the DS software.
No, and the DS software is absolute crap.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Oh, it's some of the worst operating system I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
I would rather use Windows ME than the... Yeah, it's terribly written.
Wow.
It could use a good solid updating, but it's not intended to do as much anyway as what the PSP is. But it's done so badly in the PSP. Like, to actually get a movie onto the memory stick is hard. To get any movie on and working, I couldn't get it working. But to get a movie running full screen is like 10 or 20 times harder. They just don't run full screen.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, now, good multimedia machine, you retards.
Don't worry, they'll get it right with the PSP 2.0.
I think they're up to, what are they? Yeah, I mean, maybe they will, but they have the hardware to get it right now.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to get it right now. They don't have the software. All they need is better software. What moron is writing their software?
I don't know.
You don't care anymore, do you?
Not anymore. No, my eyes started to glaze over. Like, I am interested, but
you don't have a PSP, so it doesn't mean anything to you personally.
To a point. I think I'm interested in the fact that Sony are acting this way because it's sort of a bad reflection for the upcoming PS3 as well. It's like, I mean, these things are going to be integrated, the Sony PSP and the PlayStation 3 and every other piece of software. They're going to try and, just like Microsoft, they're going to try and glue everything together as much as possible. And if this is an indication of where they're going and how successful they're doing it just with the one peripheral and its extended media, it's a bad sign.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not even a peripheral. This is a platform of its own. Could you imagine?
Like the memory
I know, but could you imagine if you had to do that same sort of crap to the Xbox, like the Xbox 360? Pain in the ass. It's a ridiculous way to do things.
Fair call.
Could you imagine if you had to download videos on your computer and then rename them to a particular format and then copy them across into a particular directory on the thing manually through USB onto your... Like, it's just a dumb way to do it.
It is. You're right, but my eyes are still glazed.
Whatever. Glazed boy.
Just like donuts. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we know.
Well, yeah.
Didn't we have something else we wanted to talk about, or were we done?
No. The Game
that was it. We were done.
We have actually covered all our points.
And we're only over time by 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yay!
Well,
hope everyone has a good Friday night. And hello to me, because at this point now, I'll be probably drinking heavily.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'm going out.
You're going out?
I'm going out. I am out now.
You're going out on a Friday night?
Yes, a work thing.
Oh my god.
Shut up.
Hold the press.
I don't have World of Warcraft, I have to go out.
Fair enough. Okay. Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Alright, whatever. See you guys.
Bye.